The Stoics, an ancient school of philosophy, believed that true strength lies not in conquering external forces, but in mastering our own emotions. In today's fast-paced world, where negativity can be overwhelming, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. Have you ever felt emotionally drained after interacting with a toxic person? Whether it's a manipulative colleague, a judgmental family member, or a constantly complaining friend, toxic individuals can disrupt our mental well-being, leaving us feeling frustrated and powerless. Their negativity can seep into our thoughts, affecting our mood and even our confidence. But here's the good news. While you may not be able to change them, you can control how you respond. Imagine yourself as a sturdy oak tree in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, and yet your roots remain firmly planted in the ground. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, learning to stand strong amidst the chaos, unaffected by external forces that seek to uproot your peace. What if you could navigate difficult relationships without letting them drain your energy? What if you had the tools to remain calm, composed, and in control, no matter how toxic someone else might be? That's exactly what you'll learn in this video. We'll go over 13 practical, Stoic-inspired strategies to help you handle toxic people with compassion, grace, and resilience. These principles will not only protect your emotional well-being, but also empower you to interact with difficult individuals without losing your inner peace. By the end of this video, you'll have a mental toolbox filled with Stoic wisdom to effectively manage toxic people and their draining behaviors. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and let's begin. And if you're committed to developing mental resilience, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on mastering your mind and emotions. Number 1, identifying and understanding the toxic threat. Take a moment to picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your very own personal citadel. Your inner tranquility, your physical health, and your emotional safety are all represented by this citadel. Without a doubt, awareness is the first line of defense in the process of protecting this fortress as well. In the same way that a watchful guard has to be able to notice potential dangers, you need to be able to recognize the indicators that a poisonous individual is approaching you. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was a proponent of reason and self-control, tells us in his Enchiridion that it is not what happens to you that upsets you. More importantly, it is your judgment of what happens. It is especially important to keep this piece of advice in mind while dealing with poisonous people. It is not the case that their negative attitudes and manipulative acts have the ability to exert force over you. Your emotional reaction to these activities and how you perceive them are the factors that determine the effect they have on your sense of inner peace at any given moment. How to cultivate a Stoic gaze, that is, a calm and objective method of viewing the situation, is the key to success. Learning to recognize the characteristics of poisonous conduct is a necessary step in this process. Listed below are some important warning signs. Constant criticism. A toxic individual may find nothing but fault with you, your conduct, or the decisions you make on a consistent basis. Although this criticism may be indirect or overt, it will always leave you feeling deflated and uncertain about your abilities. Manipulation. Toxic people frequently resort to deceptive strategies in order to achieve the goals they have set for themselves. In an effort to exert control over your conduct, they may resort to flattery, guilt trips, or even threats. Negativity. A toxic person appears to thrive on negativity. They are continuously whining and pulling others down with their pessimism so that they can focus on the worst aspects of the problems they are concerned with. Additionally, in addition to these general indications, there are also several types of toxic personalities that you should be aware of. The narcissist. A person who is constantly looking for approval and adoration throughout their life. It is possible that they are charming at first, but in the end, their interactions are one-sided, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted. The gossip. This individual lives on social turmoil. They are known to propagate rumors, stir up trouble, and take pleasure in causing friction between other people. The energy vampire. This individual has the ability to drain your vitality. As the term suggests, interactions with them leave you feeling cognitively and emotionally drained and fatigued. The development of a mental map of the potential dangers that could befall your inner citadel can be accomplished by first gaining an awareness of the many toxic personalities and the actions that they display. In the same way that a Roman Stoic philosopher like Seneca might devise a plan to combat an adversary on the battlefield, you may make use of your newly acquired awareness to anticipate the strategies employed by potentially harmful individuals and devise a strategy to safeguard your emotional well-being. Number 2, fortify your walls. Put yourself in the shoes of Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor of Rome. In order to rule a vast empire, one needed to possess power, knowledge, and unyielding determination. When it comes to strengthening the walls of your own inner citadel, often known as your emotional well-being, these same attributes are vital. Undoubtedly, the boundaries that you have established are the foundation of the citadel. When dealing with toxic people, boundaries are the obvious lines that you create in the sand to demarcate your limits. They determine the kinds of conduct that you will and will not approve of. You should not permit poisonous people to intrude on your emotional territory in the same way that a powerful monarch would not permit his borders to be violated. What comes into play here is Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of reason and self-control. In order to take the initial step, you must first determine which activities deplete your energy or violate your sense of self. Is it the persistent pessimism shared by a friend, a coworker engaging in manipulative behavior, the intrusive counsel of a family member? Make sure that you are open and honest with yourself about the things that you will not bear. The next step, once you have determined these boundaries, is to communicate them in a clear and concise manner. Tap into your inner Marcus Aurelius and be firm while still being fair. To facilitate effective communication, the following are some strategies. Think about how you are feeling and use I statements. Rather than making accusatory statements such as, "You are always so negative," you could try saying something like, "I feel drained when you constantly focus on unpleasant things." Be as specific as possible. Take care not to leave any chance for misunderstanding. Rather than saying something vague like, "I need some space," you should say something like, "I can't talk right now, but I'd be happy to chat later this week." Keep your word, but be kind at the same time. There is a distinction between being assertive and being aggressive. It is important to convey your point with self-assurance while avoiding animosity. On the other hand, establishing boundaries is not a one-time experience. When it comes to enforcing your boundaries, you need to be firm and consistent, just like a Stoic ruler who is always on guard against barbarian invasions. A wall that is unstable is simple to dismantle. In the event that a toxic individual disregards your limits, you should calmly remind them of the line that has been established. It may even be necessary for you to restrict your interaction with the person or completely withdraw from the situation. Keep in mind that establishing limits is not about punishing someone. Rather, it is about protecting yourself. Envy, a vice that frequently serves as a source of poisonous talk, was vigorously avoided by the Stoics. Through the establishment of boundaries, you are not engaging in selfish behavior. Rather, you are safeguarding your emotional well-being and creating the space necessary to build inner peace. Within the context of your Stoic path toward a life of tranquility, a strong citadel, characterized by clearly defined and well-defended boundaries, is an essential component. Number 3, become uninteresting to the emotional barbarian. Take into consideration a ferocious emotional barbarian who is driven by pessimism and constantly seeks dramatic conflict. Certain toxic individuals act in this manner. They rely on attention, thrive on your emotional response, and hope to elicit a reaction. A glimmer of fury or hurt will fuel their fire. They constantly poke and prod with insults. The Stoic ideals of emotional regulation and indifference to external stimuli serve as the foundation for the Grey Rock method, a powerful tool in this context. Paul Friedman, a therapist, developed this technique as a strategy for becoming emotionally less reactive. It is not about fully shutting down. Rather, it is about providing the emotional equivalent of a smooth gray rock, a surface that is neutral, unyielding, and offers no handholds for negativity to cling to. To better understand this approach, let us draw upon the wisdom of Seneca, a great Roman Stoic philosopher. Seneca tells us that true happiness resides in enjoying the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This serves as a reminder that we should free ourselves from the need for attention. Toxic individuals often seek attention, whether positive or negative. By using the gray rock method, you prevent them from experiencing the emotional response they are looking for. In the midst of the storm they are attempting to generate, you become uninteresting, just like a dull rock. Neutral responses serve as your armor. The gray rock method entails responding to negativity with neutral and factual statements on purpose. It is important to refrain from becoming involved in emotional disputes or justifications. If a toxic friend insults your work, for example, you can deflect their attack by simply saying, "That's interesting," without providing further fuel for their negativity. Toxic people frequently attempt to control your emotions. They may resort to sarcasm, guilt trips, or even outright hostility. In these situations, the key is to disengage from their emotional vortex. Maintain your composure, respond factually, and refuse to be drawn into their drama. Seneca teaches that the path to genuine happiness is to not amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears. Do not give toxic individuals the emotional power they seek. The gray rock method is a powerful tool, but it is not a miracle cure. Some toxic personalities may initially escalate their behavior, testing your emotional resilience. Stay calm, remain consistent, and remember that you are not responsible for their negativity. By applying this Stoic-inspired method, you shift from being a passive victim of their emotional theatrics to an unmoved spectator. In doing so, you protect your inner peace and emotional well-being. Number 4, the broken record technique. Imagine being subjected to a never-ending onslaught of manipulation. A toxic individual chipping away at your boundaries through deceptive arguments and emotional ploys. Enduring such persistent attacks can be both emotionally draining and frustrating. However, do not fear. The Stoic principles of unshakable reason and perseverance serve as the foundation for the broken record technique, a powerful defense against manipulation. The broken record technique is a strategy developed to counter deceptive tactics. It involves patiently and repeatedly stating your position, just like a broken record that skips on the same unwavering message. Though simple in nature, this method can be remarkably effective in preventing others from derailing you and ensuring that your boundaries remain intact. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized perseverance as a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. He taught that freedom is the only good, highlighting the power of self-determination. This freedom includes the ability to set and enforce your own boundaries, as well as the liberty to say no without explanation. The broken record technique embodies this principle, allowing you to display unwavering resolve and resist manipulation by calmly and relentlessly reiterating your stance. Defending against emotional attacks. Manipulators frequently use emotional strategies to gain control. They may attempt to sway you with flattery, guilt trips, or even bursts of anger in an effort to get their way. By employing the broken record technique, you can neutralize these emotional assaults. Instead of engaging with their manipulation, you remain focused on calmly repeating your clear, factual statement. The consistent repetition of your position can be unsettling for a manipulator. Repetition serves as a psychological defense mechanism, disrupting their conversational flow, throwing them off balance, and exposing the hollowness of their arguments. Imagine a powerful ocean wave crashing against a solid rock. The wave eventually dissipates, but the rock remains unmoved. This is the essence of the broken record technique. Contrary to popular belief, this method does not involve confrontation. Instead, it is about maintaining a firm stance while enforcing your boundaries in a calm and composed manner. Stoicism teaches that reason and logic should guide us in navigating life's challenges. By utilizing this technique, you empower yourself to resist exploitation and safeguard your inner peace with unwavering determination. Number 5, don't take the bait. Imagine a skilled angler casting a line baited with negativity, hoping to reel you into a whirlpool of emotional drama. They dangle provocations, insults, guilt trips, or passive-aggressive remarks designed to elicit a reaction that will fuel their chaos and feed their negativity. This is a common strategy among toxic individuals. However, Stoic philosophy offers a powerful defense. Indifference. This is not the same as apathy. Rather, it refers to the ability to remain emotionally detached from negativity. The Stoics, particularly philosophers such as Epictetus, distinguish between apathy and true indifference. Apathy is a state of disinterest or listlessness. Indifference, on the other hand, is the conscious decision to detach from unpleasant emotions and judgments that distort reason. This distinction is crucial when dealing with toxic people. By practicing Stoic indifference, you can avoid taking the bait that leads to unnecessary conflict. How Stoic indifference helps you resist drama. 1. Recognize the strategy. The first step is awareness. Learn to identify the telltale signs that a toxic person is trying to bait you. Is it a sarcastic remark, a veiled insult, a guilt trip disguised as concern? And once you recognize the tactic, you strip it of its power. 2. Detach from the emotional hook. The bait is designed to provoke anger, annoyance, or defensiveness. Stoic indifference, however, allows you to remain emotionally unhooked. Picture yourself observing the bait from a distance, cool and composed, unaffected by its ability to upset you. 3. Let the drama dissolve. Toxic individuals thrive on reactions. If you don't take the bait, their power diminishes. Without fuel, their drama cannot sustain itself. Their negative comments hang in the air, powerless until they fade away. 4. Balance detachment with compassion. Stoicism does not encourage becoming heartless or unfeeling. It promotes positive emotions while discouraging attachment to negativity. You are not cold, you are simply refusing to be controlled. By mastering Stoic indifference, you transform yourself from a passive participant in their drama to a peaceful observer. Your inner serenity remains intact, a refuge untouched by the emotional storms others try to create. 6. The art of the non-reaction. Imagine somebody who is a verbal gladiator, someone who is a master of insults and barbs, and who thrives on the heated back and forth of an argument. There are some poisonous folks who call this domain their home. They use words as weapons with the intention of inciting anger, humiliating you, and ultimately luring you into their emotional sphere. Presented here is a Stoic strategy that is not only effective, but also frequently underappreciated. The art of the non-reaction. When deployed in a planned manner, silence has the potential to be an effective weapon against a lethal verbal assault. By causing a disruption in the dynamic they want, it disarms them. Astonishing quiet, on the other hand, is not something that comes effortlessly to everyone. The desire to answer, to defend ourselves, or to win the argument is something that we are frequently conditioned to feel. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches us the significance of mastering our reactions, and stillness maintained at the appropriate moment indicates true control. Putting a stop to the toxic dance. People who are toxic frequently rely on a pattern that is predictable. Their tone is pessimistic, and they anticipate a response from you. When you show anger, annoyance, or defensiveness toward them, you are adding fuel to their fire and maintaining the toxic dance. Having no reaction causes this pattern to be disrupted. You are denying them the emotional response that they are looking for by choosing silence. Just for a moment, picture a tennis player swinging their racket toward a court that is completely empty. Their tremendous serve falls with a thud, and everything that follows is complete silence. In this perspective, silence is not empty. It is a form of communication that conveys meaning without words. This demonstrates that you have a high level of self-control and that you are unwilling to partake in their negative behavior. The message that it sends is one of strength and non-attachment to the emotional manipulation they are engaging in. It is important to remember that Marcus Aurelius advised us to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Become one. The attributes of a good Stoic are exemplified by your quiet. You are calm, reasonable, and unmoved by the provocations that come from the outside world. Prepare yourself for the escalation. When using the non-reaction, it is essential to apply a planned approach wherever possible. In the beginning, a toxic person may increase their efforts by hurling further verbal insults in an effort to elicit a response. Keep your composure and remain unmoved in your quiet. It is important to keep in mind that quiet is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is a powerful instrument that is utilized by those who are truly strong. The non-reaction is not a solution that can be applied in every situation, but it is an important weapon in your Stoic armory. When utilized strategically, it has the potential to disarm poisonous people, defend your inner peace, and demonstrate that you have power over your own emotions. When you choose quiet, you are making a powerful statement in and of itself because you are choosing not to play their game. Number 7, limit your exposure. Imagine that you are inside your walled citadel, where your mental health is being painstakingly preserved by strict boundaries. During the entire process, however, even the sturdiest walls are not able to totally protect you from dangers that come from the outside. Contaminated individuals, just like persistent intruders, may nevertheless make an effort to penetrate your safeguards. The Stoic idea of controlling what you can control comes into play at this point in the discussion. Although you are unable to control the actions of toxic people, you are able to manage the amount of time you spend with them. One of the first lines of defense in this method is to reduce the amount of time you spend interacting with people who are toxic. When it is possible, establish physical distance. Would you be able to completely avoid them? Is it possible for you to reschedule a lunch engagement or to respectfully remove yourself from something that is being discussed? Keep in mind that this is not about being impolite, rather it is about protecting oneself. In the same way that a Stoic leader would not send his forces into a conflict that was not essential, you should not subject yourself to negativity that is simply not necessary. When avoidance is not an option, nevertheless, it is not always feasible to avoid something completely. On occasion, toxic people may be coworkers, family members, or even close friends and acquaintances. In these kinds of circumstances, establishing emotional distance becomes absolutely necessary. This can be accomplished by the following strategies. Mental detachment. Epictetus, a notable Stoic philosopher, tells us that happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one another. This highlights the importance of mental detachment. Nevertheless, this does not imply emotional involvement. You are able to comprehend the pessimism of another individual without allowing it to color your attitude. Exercise mental detachment by observing their conduct in an impartial manner without allowing yourself to become emotionally invested in it. Cognitive reframing. Toxic people will frequently attempt to control your feelings by using negativity. Cognitive reframing, a method greatly influenced by Stoic concepts, can be of great assistance in this situation. Transform their pessimism into an objective observation by reframing it. In the event that a coworker is continually complaining, for instance, you may reframe the situation as they appear to be having a difficult day, rather than allowing their negativity to bring you down. Focusing on the positive, toxic people thrive on negativity. Thus, it is important to focus on the positive. Try not to give them the ability to take away your happiness. Make a concerted effort to concentrate on the positive aspects of your life, such as the personal interests you enjoy, the significant work you do, and the supportive friends you have. Allow yourself to be emotionally protected by these beneficial factors, a safe haven from the negativity that they bring. Limiting exposure is not cowardice. There is no such thing as cowardice when it comes to limiting your exposure, both physically and emotionally. Protecting your inner peace and practicing self-care are essential. Stoics have a strong belief in the importance of leading a moral life and acting rationally. When you reduce the amount of time you spend interacting with negative people and situations, you make room for yourself to nurture a good and flourishing inner life. Imagine that your fortress is encircled by a large moat, which in addition to being a physical barrier, also serves as an emotional barrier, protecting your peace from the advancing negativity of poisonous people. Number 8, build your support system. Just for a moment, picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your inner castle. Your walls have been strengthened with boundaries. You have perfected the art of non-reaction, and you have reduced the number of toxic people you are present with. However, in order to fully defend their position, even the most courageous warrior requires a powerful phalanx, a formation of trustworthy allies. Your support system is your Stoic phalanx, an essential component in ensuring that you maintain your inner serenity when you are engaged in the fight against negativity. The Stoics, especially philosophers such as Seneca, placed a strong emphasis on the significance of living a life in harmony with nature. These guiding principles are exemplified by a network of virtuous individuals, those who support you, inspire you, and share your fundamental beliefs. In difficult times, you may turn to them for support and guidance. They are the people who will listen to you, offer wise counsel, and provide unwavering encouragement. How a strong support system shields you from negativity. A robust support system serves as a buffer against the negative influence of toxic individuals in several ways. A safe space for sharing. Dealing with toxic people can be emotionally draining. Having a safe space to share your experiences and express your frustrations is essential. Trusted friends or family members can provide comprehension and compassion, serving as a vital support system and reminding you that you are not fighting this struggle alone. Reinforcing your self-worth. Toxic people frequently chip away at your sense of self-worth. However, a strong support system acts as a counterforce, providing encouragement and reminding you of your strength, abilities, and value in the world. Their faith in you has the power to rekindle your inner fire, especially in moments when negativity threatens to extinguish it. Setting an example of virtue and positivity. The Stoics believed in surrounding oneself with people who exemplify the virtues one wishes to cultivate. A network of positive, resilient, and virtuous individuals serves as a role model, helping you develop strength and resilience in handling negativity with grace. How to build a strong Stoic phalanx. The process of constructing a solid support system is ongoing. To cultivate this powerful phalanx, consider the following steps. Invest in quality time. Set aside time for meaningful interactions with those who support you. Strengthen connections by sharing experiences, listening, and being present in each other's lives. Join clubs and communities. Seek out clubs, volunteer organizations, or online communities aligned with your values and interests. These groups naturally bring together like-minded individuals who can offer support and encouragement. Express gratitude. Never underestimate the power of gratitude. Take time to express your appreciation to those who support you for their presence, kindness, and unwavering encouragement. A simple thank you can strengthen bonds and deepen connections. Through the cultivation of a strong Stoic phalanx, you create a formidable shield that protects you from negativity. Strength, perspective, and a renewed sense of optimism are all gained when you surround yourself with positive influences. Always remember, even the most well-guarded fortress benefits from a strong external defense. Your support system, your trusted companions, becomes your unyielding phalanx, ensuring that your inner serenity remains secure and protected. Number 9, prioritize self-care. Making contact with toxic individuals is analogous to facing an unrelenting assault in combat. Your emotional energy is depleted, leaving you feeling exhausted. When it comes to protecting yourself against negativity, self-care becomes an essential component. Just as a Stoic warrior would tend to their wounds and sharpen their blade after battle, your Stoic way of living should include self-care as a fundamental component. Prioritize it, incorporate it into your daily routine, and treat it as an investment in your mental well-being. Your emotional reserves can be replenished, and your resistance to negativity can be strengthened through the following self-care strategies. 1. Engage in activities that bring you joy. Determine the activities that truly bring you joy and help you relax. These could include physical exercise, running, yoga, weightlifting, creative pursuits, painting, writing, playing music. Immersing yourself in these activities allows you to de-stress, recharge, and return with a fresh perspective. 2. Practice Stoic meditation. The Stoics engaged in awareness practices similar to meditation. Through meditation, you can calm your mind, disengage from negative thoughts, and cultivate inner peace. By making meditation a regular part of your self-care regimen, you gain a powerful tool to manage stress and negativity, whether it comes from within or from toxic people. 3. Seek solace in nature. The Stoics emphasize living in harmony with nature. Spending time in natural settings, whether a walk in the park or a hike through the woods, has a profound impact on your mental well-being. It helps to alleviate stress, improve your mood, gain perspective on negativity. Immersing yourself in the natural world acts as preventative maintenance for your emotional well-being. 4. Listen to your body's signals. Your body and mind are in constant communication. Pay attention to warning signs such as exhaustion, tension, emotional depletion. Don't wait until you are completely drained to prioritize self-care. Instead, maintain habits that nurture emotional resilience, such as eating well, getting enough sleep, taking breaks throughout the day. These small habits lay the foundation for your emotional resilience. 5. Set boundaries for self-care. Just as you establish boundaries with toxic people, you should also set boundaries around your self-care time. Examples include declining requests that interfere with your rest and well-being, setting aside specific times for self-care activities. Remember, prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It is essential for maintaining emotional resilience. By integrating self-care into your Stoic lifestyle, you cultivate emotional fortitude. A Stoic warrior prepares for any battle, and through self-care, you approach life's challenges with a stronger perspective and unwavering resilience. Having a full emotional battery enables you to deflect negativity more effectively and radiate positivity, forming a formidable shield against the toxic individuals in your life. Number 10, remember, it's not about you. Picture a dark cloud looming over you, spewing out negativity and obscuring your view of the world. When dealing with toxic individuals, situations like this become frequent. They create a poisonous environment by projecting their own worries, insecurities, and inner turmoil onto those around them, affecting people negatively in the process. In Stoic philosophy, the concept of prohairesis, often misunderstood but rooted in the idea of rational choice and control, serves as a powerful defense mechanism in these moments. It teaches us to see ourselves as rational observers, standing outside the emotional storm rather than being swept up in it. By separating ourselves from negativity and focusing on logic and reason, we reclaim control over our own emotions and reactions. How to use Stoic detachment against toxicity. 1. Recognize projection for what it is. Toxic individuals often blame, criticize, and spread negativity as a way to deflect from their own inadequacies. By applying Stoic detachment, you can view their behavior as a phenomenon to be observed, rather than a personal attack. Instead of reacting emotionally, try to see their negativity as a reflection of their own struggles, not a judgment of your worth. Much like a scientist examining a storm, observe their behavior without becoming emotionally involved. 2. Their behavior is about them, not you. Detaching yourself allows you to see toxic behavior for what it truly is, a symptom of their own unresolved issues, not an indication of your character. Think of a dark cloud. While it may cast a shadow, it does not change the nature of the ground beneath it. In the same way, toxic people may temporarily cloud your day, but they cannot diminish your true self. The sun still shines brightly above those clouds, untouched and unwavering. 3. Protect your energy. Don't waste it on negativity. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Your time and energy are precious. Engaging with negativity is a waste of both. Instead, focus on your own path, one that leads to virtue, wisdom, and inner peace. Maintain emotional distance. Prioritize your well-being. Stay committed to your Stoic journey. 4. Detachment is not apathy, it's strength. Being emotionally detached does not mean being cold or indifferent. You can acknowledge someone's struggles without allowing their emotions to consume you. Through Stoic detachment, you shift from being a passive target of toxicity to a calm, centered observer. You become the steady rock in the storm, unshaken by external chaos. Final thought, the sun still shines above the clouds. Whenever negativity surrounds you, remember, the clouds may gather, but the sun is still shining above them. By practicing Stoic detachment, you ensure that toxic people do not have the power to dim your light. Number 11, don't try to fix them. The desire to heal, help, or fix someone, especially when it's a person you care about, can be powerful. When you see someone engaging in harmful behaviors, it's natural to want to step in, guide them, and steer them toward change. However, Stoicism teaches a different path, one that emphasizes personal responsibility and emotional resilience, rather than exhausting yourself trying to change others. Attempting to fix a toxic person often leads to frustration, emotional depletion, and an unhealthy dynamic where you take on responsibility for their issues. Just like a plant choked by weeds must have its own will to grow, a toxic person must choose their own transformation. Change cannot be forced. While trying to fix toxic people is futile one, focus on what you can control. A core tenet of Stoicism is focusing only on what you can control, your own reactions, choices, and interactions. You cannot control another person's behavior, mindset, or willingness to change. Instead of wasting energy trying to change someone who isn't ready, direct that energy toward your own growth, peace, and emotional well-being. 2. Accountability lies with them, not you. Toxic individuals must take ownership of their own emotions and behaviors. It is their responsibility to recognize their negative patterns, seek self-improvement, and work toward virtue. If you attempt to carry this burden for them, you risk enabling their behavior, creating an unhealthy dynamic, and preventing them from taking responsibility for their actions. 3. Accept what is beyond your control. Stoicism teaches acceptance, understanding that some things, including other people's choices and behavior, are beyond your influence. You cannot control the actions of others, the circumstances of the external world, the ever-changing nature of life itself. A toxic person's negativity is a perfect example of something you cannot fix. By accepting this, you liberate yourself from frustration and fruitless efforts to change them. Your inner peace is a garden, protect it. Imagine that your mind is a flourishing garden, a space where you cultivate peace, resilience, and wisdom. A toxic person, with their negativity and self-destructive habits, is like a weed trying to choke the life out of your carefully nurtured growth. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for weeding someone else's garden. Instead, tend to your own garden, fostering positive relationships, personal virtues, and self-care practices. How to support without fixing. While Stoicism values helping others, it must be done within healthy boundaries. If you feel compelled to encourage change, consider these Stoic approaches. 1. Provide resources, not rescue. Rather than trying to fix someone, offer tools that may encourage their own self-reflection. A book on effective communication or emotional resilience. A recommendation for therapy or self-improvement. A gentle suggestion that they reflect on the consequences of their actions. This allows them to take responsibility for their growth, instead of you carrying the burden for them. 2. Lead by example. The most powerful way to inspire change is by living Stoic principles yourself. By remaining calm, responding with wisdom, and prioritizing virtue, you act as a beacon of stability, demonstrating that inner peace is possible, even in adversity. Your own growth and serenity may inspire them more than any words ever could. 3. Know when to walk away. Despite your best efforts, some toxic people will refuse to change. In these cases, Stoicism encourages setting firm boundaries. If their negativity threatens your peace, it may be necessary to distance yourself to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Remember, you cannot control their journey, but you can choose your own path. Final thought, from fixer to facilitator. By internalizing these Stoic principles, you transform from a frustrated fixer into a Stoic facilitator, someone who offers wisdom and support without sacrificing their own peace. Rather than draining yourself and trying to pull someone from the darkness, stand strong in your own light. If they are ready to change, they will find their way, but it must be their choice, not your burden. Number 12, when to walk away. Imagine you are seeking safety and tranquility within your Stoic castle of refuge. You have developed emotional detachment, cultivated a healthy inner garden, and strengthened your defensive walls, by establishing firm boundaries. Yet despite your best efforts, the negativity of a toxic individual persists, posing a constant threat to your peace of mind. Recognizing when to withdraw from such a situation is a fundamental Stoic principle. Making the decision to leave a toxic relationship, especially one involving family members or coworkers, can be incredibly difficult. However, prioritizing your mental health is of utmost importance. Stoics believe in leading a moral and rational life. Maintaining a relationship that undermines your inner peace is in direct opposition to these ideals. This is why Stoic philosophy aligns with the practice of stepping away from harmful situations. Keeping your Stoic sanctuary safe. Your inner serenity is your sacred sanctuary, a place of refuge cultivated through self-care, mindfulness, and Stoic practice. A toxic person, with their unrelenting negativity, is comparable to a persistent siege on your fortress. To protect your emotional well-being and safeguard your sanctuary, you may need to remove yourself from the situation. Focus on what truly matters. Seneca, a great Stoic philosopher, reminds us that life is a precious commodity, stating, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." Remaining in an unhealthy relationship wastes this valuable time and energy. By walking away, you free yourself to invest in positive connections, meaningful pursuits, experiences that nourish your spirit. This shift allows you to cultivate a fulfilling, flourishing existence. Acceptance, the core of Stoicism. A key component of Stoicism is accepting what is beyond our control, and other people's behavior is a prime example of this. Detachment does not mean weakness or defeat. Choosing to walk away is not an act of surrender. Rather, it is a sign of acceptance and wisdom. You are not giving up on the person. You are giving up on the toxic dynamic that is harming your well-being. When to consider walking away. Moving on should not be a rash decision. Before stepping away, reflect on the following. Have you exhausted all other options? Have you tried open communication, setting boundaries, or offering support? Is this a pattern or a one-time issue? Is the negativity persistent, or was it an isolated event? Is this relationship significantly affecting your well-being? Do you feel drained, anxious, or emotionally exhausted due to this dynamic? How to step away gracefully. Walking away does not require drama or confrontation. Small, gradual steps can be effective. Reducing contact over time, politely declining invitations, setting firmer boundaries on communication. Final thought, walking away is an act of self-care. Choosing to step away is not selfish. It is a Stoic act of self-preservation. By prioritizing your well-being, you create space for positive relationships and experiences to flourish. A life led by reason, virtue, and peace begins with the choices you make to protect your inner calm. Number 13, forgive yourself. Consider the following scenario. You are about to embark on a lengthy journey, but you are carrying a heavy bag, one filled with hatred and resentment toward a toxic individual. This burden slows you down, prevents progress, and drains your energy. Within the Stoic framework, forgiveness is not about excusing the other person's behavior. It is about freeing yourself from emotional baggage. The Stoic perspective on forgiveness. Stoicism teaches us to accept what is beyond our control, and other people's actions and negativity are a prime example. Holding on to resentment will only contaminate your present and cast doubt on your future. Letting go is an act of self-liberation. How Stoic principles help you forgive yourself. Focus on your inner landscape. True power lies in controlling your own thoughts and actions, rather than trying to control others. To reclaim your peace, you must first forgive yourself and release any lingering resentment. Acceptance is not approval. Forgiving does not mean condoning a toxic person's behavior. Instead, it means acknowledging what has happened, accepting that it is beyond your control, choosing to move forward with a lighter heart. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your ability to forgive empowers you to reclaim that strength. Breaking the cycle of negativity. Resentment is a self-imposed prison. By holding on to it, you continue allowing the toxic person's influence in your life. even when they are no longer present? Forgiving yourself breaks the cycle, freeing you from emotional shackles. Steps to foster forgiveness. Recognize your feelings. Acknowledge your anger, hurt, or resentment instead of suppressing them. Repression slows down the healing process. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and empathy you would offer a friend in a similar situation. You were not only hurt by their negativity, you were also affected by their actions. Shift your perspective. Evaluate the situation objectively. Was the toxic person acting maliciously? Were other factors influencing their behavior? Understanding their motives does not justify their actions, but it helps you release resentment. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself. Letting go of negativity creates space for emotional healing, personal growth, a more fulfilling life. Final thought, moving forward with strength and peace. Imagine embarking on your journey with a lighter backpack and an unburdened heart. With renewed strength and tranquility, you are ready to embrace new adventures, unshackled by the past. By applying these 13 Stoic-inspired methods, you transform yourself from a passive victim into a resilient warrior of inner peace. A life free from negativity is a life worth fighting for.